So in today's contemplation, we're going to be dancing a little bit with what we call the fifth gene key. Now, the fifth gene key deals with a frequency band in the human experience that goes from the shadow survival nature of impatience towards the highest potential expression of timelessness. And it moves through the pathway of patience. So what we're saying here is that as we cultivate more patience in our life and we learn to be able to slow down and just accept where things are right now and respond from that point towards moving forwards, then we can begin to expand time to bring more timelessness into the moment. But when we do not trust in the natural flow of life, when we do not trust that someone has got control of things, when we do not trust that our mind has control, then we get scared. And when we get fear, this specific codon in our DNA activates impatience because it's saying things aren't right around us right now. We need to take action in order to do something about it and fix it up. Now, once upon a time in the caveman days, that was a really important energy. There would have been impatience that we needed to have inside our bodies to create movement towards making sure we survived in situations that were very dangerous and threatening to the human species at the early stages. But as you hear me go on and on about in these contemplations, our modern day world is not full of those dangers anymore. We now have artificial synthetic dangers we have created through our social media, through the news outlets. Our entire economy runs on fear. So that is why these gene keys are so important, because they give us a framework to reframe our perspective of what's happening around us. And as we do so, we can begin to become discerning as to what is actually dangerous and what is not, what's just a natural part of the mutative process. And when we get to the heart of impatience, if you just take a moment to even just hear that word impatience, it's got this harshness, it's this kind of now, do it, and this energy of impatience at the heart of it, at the very heart of it, is a lack of trust. It's a lack of trust that everything is where it needs to be, that everything is in the flow that it needs to be in, and that it's going to work out. Trusting that you are where you need to be right now in order to take the next step that is correct for you. And Richard Rudd from the Gene Keys did a great YouTube video on this, which I'll attempt to remember to link underneath here. Remind me in a comment if I haven't done it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful video called Trust in Trust. And it really speaks to the heart of all of our issues in life. And so when we look at impatience, we're looking at the shadow of not trusting in our environment, not trusting in our life. And this creates a kind of hunger for experience, a hunger for change, a hunger for transformation. Yet paradoxically, we don't trust in the transformation. We don't trust in what's coming there either. So then we become stuck in this loop of anxiety and impatience of wanting to get something done. But every time we do something, it seems to be in the wrong direction and creates even more impatience. And then time flies from beneath our feet. And so as we move through this frequency of impatience, we're being called to remember what it means to be patient, which means what does it mean to trust in life? What does it mean to trust in those around you, to trust in their suffering, to trust that whatever they've done that's pissed you off is okay, to trust that that's perfect for what it was in that moment? Because when you can begin to trust on that level, that's when you begin to take your true sovereignty in that moment. When you suddenly are no longer a victim enslaved by other people's reactions, but rather you become empowered to take that moment, to stop reacting, but instead act from a new point of place, from a new point of love and compassion. And when you can cultivate that patience with those around you to allow them the space to have their journey, but take responsibility for your own, then that's when you will start feeling time beginning to expand. You will find yourself becoming even more immersed in each moment. When you cultivate that patience in your life, trusting that things are rolling out as they need to, all you need to do is take the next step that is your response to what has turned up in your life. And if you can just trust in that and take that next step and that next step, having that patience, then that's when suddenly the smell of the roses becomes richer. You know, you begin to hear the music of the birds that have been around you the whole time. But through impatience, we haven't been able to take the time to listen. That patience will allow you to begin to see these mysterious hidden pathways through life that are all around you at all times, hidden from the muggle world who are stuck in their minds, impatient. But when you slow down, become patient, then the mystery begins to enter your life. You begin to see it as an adventure rather than as a form of suffering. And when I think of this trust, you know, and the adventuring spirit of patience, it makes me think that when you go to watch a good movie, now let's say you go and watch a movie, you know that whoever's created this movie, they've made amazing movies before, the director's awesome, the producers are great, the actors are fantastic. When you get to that cinema, you sit down and you go through, nowadays it's like 2.5 hours sometimes. And if it's a well-done movie that you trust, that at the end they're going to bring you on a journey and give you a great conclusion, then you don't get impatient halfway into the movie. You don't sit there going, oh, come on, this is all great, but when's the ending coming? You surrender to the experience, right? You surrender to the actors. You surrender to the fear, the compassion, the love, the joy, the anxiety, the anger, the rage, whatever's coming up in the movie. You go through it with this detached experience of celebration, of just enjoying what comes up, because you trust in those who are curating the movie. And so I put it to you that your movie, your life is a movie. Your life is a fairy tale. And it requires you to trust that the author of your fairy tale, which is this higher part of yourself that is not in this body, that is not the stories and the opinions and the thoughts that you have, but is higher than that. Your higher self is the one that's playing this computer game, watching this movie. Trust that your own authority is authoring your fairy tale perfectly. And as you begin to trust that, you'll find yourself really enjoying the adventure more and being able to take control in each moment where it counts, keeping it simple. So thank you for tuning in for this contemplation, and I endeavour to have the next one at the beginning of the 6-day cycle of the sun moving through each of the gene keys. So today we're halfway, so you've got a few more days of working with this energy, and then I'll do a little contemplation on the next one coming. And if you'd like to get a bit more of a taste for the Gene Keys work and how you can use it practically in your everyday life, then I've put in a link below to a free 4-part webinar series that I've been putting on, and we're loving it. We're halfway in now. And the links are below. You'll be able to watch the replays of the first 2 and join us this Sunday live for the 3rd one, where we're going to look at the sphere of attraction, which is the part in your personal Gene Keys profile that governs how you attract and create the karma to match your dharma. You know, how you create, what is your part in becoming a match to these experiences. And so it's a little bit like the law of attraction, but a little bit deeper level than what some people may have experienced. And it's a very personalized version. So I'm super excited to sharing that with you. So make sure to click those links below. You do need to sign up for each of the different episodes. It's just how the platform works. So yeah, sign up for those, and I look forward to connecting with you on Sunday, and let's have some more fun. All right, much love.